FO1 meteorologist Kim Adams, a light snow and also a few areas of drizzle right now. We'll talk about road conditions coming up.
Also, what new dashcam video tells us about a deadly police chase as a local police commissioner pushes lawmakers to make a change. Plus, we've got this.
He's celebrating 7 decades of being right there behind the chair.
I just came out of the Korean War, and I was looking for a job, and I had an opening for Barber here in the building.
Secret for longevity, and so much more.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon, I'm Karen Drew. Many of you might have been dreaming about a white Christmas. Well, we are getting some snow, about a week late. Let's see if the radar might be lighting up right now. Snow showers will be moving through this evening. Meteorologist Kim Adams standing by with the very latest. Is this going to affect our evening drive?
Not really. Our temperatures are above freezing in most areas, but once the sun sets just after 5 o'clock, you do have to watch out for some icing on the bridges and overpasses. Otherwise, most of what is falling is now rain. You can see the green indicating rain, and then there are just a few flurries scattered here and there. The pink all the way to our northwest, that's a mix. But even the snowflakes that are coming down as you're driving along will hit your windshield, look more like drizzle. And it's very, very light and very scattered. But there are some places that are seeing kind of that mix going on right now. It's raining now in Hamtramck, Grosse Pointe Woods, Grosse Pointe Farms getting a little light drizzle. The park is dry, Indian Village is dry, and also downtown Detroit. But as you go a little bit down to the south, you can see that changeover from rain in Ecorse to a little light snow right along I-94 in Taylor, Garden City, Livonia, Canton, and Plymouth. But again, it's so fine that it's kind of hard to even tell whether it's rain or a wet snowflake that's just melting as it hits your windshield. But we're watching temperatures very closely. As of right now, we're above freezing, but we will drop a little bit later on this evening. Talk about another batch of snow coming in for the weekend you'll want to hear about. That's in a few minutes.
All right. Thank you, Kim. In other news this afternoon, the Warren Police Department just released some video of a police chase that ended with the suspect dead after a crash. Happened about noon on December 26th. Police say the dashcam video shows a 24-year-old Warren resident drive off as officers made a traffic stop. Police chased that driver starting near Van Dyke and Stevens. Then the driver veered off the road. The chase ended about 3 minutes later when the suspect ran a red light and then hit a box truck. That was at 10 Mile and Ryan. The 24-year-old driver was dead at the scene. Commissioner Dwyer wants more done to discourage people from trying to get away.
The legislature should change the law to enforce a mandatory 2-year sentence for those that flee the police. I have no doubt that in this case, if the suspect would have exited the vehicle as instructed by officers, he would be alive today.
According to Warren Police, the suspect had a suspended driver's license and a misdemeanor warrant for his arrest. They also say a stolen handgun was found on the front floorboard of the suspect's vehicle. No other drivers were injured. So when it comes to crime in the city of Detroit, there is a huge drop in homicides. Local leaders just shared their 2023 report card, and they say most of the numbers are going in the right direction. Kimberly Gill has been going through the numbers in the report, so what does come next with this, Kim?
Hi, Karen. Good afternoon to you. Yeah, Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan and Police Chief James White just shared the new data from 2023, and both emphasize this report isn't just about numbers. They say it's also about lives saved and families spared the horrible impact of gun violence. Here's one of the stats they want you to be talking about. Homicides were down more than 18% from 2022, and the total number of 252 is the fewest recorded since 1966. Police also say non-fatal shootings have dropped more than 15% from last year, and carjackings down 33%. Leaders admit property crimes need more attention, with larcenies showing a jump up of 11%. The mayor said that's largely due to smash and grab car thefts. Looking ahead, Chief White says the city plans to launch a spring deployment to get ahead of the crime increase you sometimes see when the weather gets warmer. While Chief White is encouraged, he points out there's still more to be done.
You can save a life, you can save a family. And so today is about how we've done that, but we're certainly not patting ourselves on the back. I think we all agree that it is entirely too violent in our communities. We're having too many kids make their way to guns and put those guns in wrong hands, shoot themselves, shoot others. So we got a lot of work to do. So this is not a victory celebration. This is really doubling down on the work that we are all going to do.
And Mayor Duggan also has his eyes on the future. He says he's hoping the city can prove 2023 wasn't a fluke by improving those numbers again this year. We have another crew going over these numbers and gathering the first reaction from residents. So our coverage will continue when you join us for Local 4 News at 5. For now, Karen, back to you.
All right, an important news story to share. Thanks, Kim. Two senior advisors to ex-Michigan House Speaker Lee Chatfield are back home tonight after being released on bond by a Michigan judge. Earlier today, attorneys for Ann and Rob Menard entered not guilty pleas to the 12 felonies they are now facing. The husband and wife are accused of financially defrauding political fundraising accounts and pocketing $525,000. Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel has been looking into Chatfield's fundraising for nearly 2 years. The Menards are due back in court on January 19th. We did just get some new information on why Michigan State Capitol was evacuated and then shut down for the day. Michigan State Police say a bomb threat was emailed to a general account for the Michigan State Capitol Commission. It was received about 7:45 a.m. The state capitol was evacuated, the building searched, and K-9 teams also swept the facility. Police say they're also aware of similar threats in other states, but there is no word if they might be connected, and there is no word on any actual explosives being found. There's some new tensions in this afternoon in the Middle East after deadly explosions in Iran leave the world wondering who is responsible. Officials in Iran say 2 bombs exploded minutes apart during a memorial ceremony for an Iranian general that was killed during an American drone strike back in 2020. At least 103 people are dead, more than 200 injured. No one has claimed responsibility. Tensions are already high in that region because of the war between Israel and Hamas. Now, there is some new information about a deadly collision between 2 airplanes in Japan. A transcript of communications with air traffic control shows only the larger passenger jet was given permission to use the runway on Tuesday evening. The smaller Coast Guard plane was trying to transport earthquake relief supplies before the fiery explosion. 5 people on that smaller plane died. Only the pilot survived. Sources say he previously told investigators he had permission to take off. The investigation continues. Japanese rescue operations continue in the rubble of that powerful quake that hit on New Year's Day. The Prime Minister says there are reports of many people waiting for rescue under collapsed buildings. Authorities have raised the death toll to at least 73. They also say more than 300 people are injured. Rain has been falling, which is prompting concerns about possible landslides. Thousands of households have lost power and running water. Now to a major milestone for a local business that's been open for decades. Sam's Barber Shop over on Griswold has been welcoming customers and cutting hair since the 1950s. Victor Williams has more on the legacy of a man in the middle of it all who decided to keep on working even into his 90s.
Well, Sam Zayola is 92 years old, and he's spent the past 70 years right here behind the chair running this barber shop in downtown Detroit. Quite frankly, he's seen it all.
I got a beautiful business, cream of the crop, to be honest with you.
They say if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. If that's true, Sam Zayola has been on vacation for the last 7 decades. His shop opened up on January the 2nd, 1954, making 70 years in the business, which is a major milestone.
I've seen a lot. I've seen when Detroit was way up, all of a sudden went way down. Now we're in a rebound again. Thanks to Dan Gilbert. He's the man who did this. Yeah, I have a lot of respect for him.
After moving to Detroit from Italy, he started the business on Griswold Street, a barbershop in what used to be known as both the Chrysler House and the Dime Building.
I just came out of the Korean War, and I was looking for a job, and I had an opening for Barber here in a building. They did a lot of remodeling. At that time, I was still on the 11th floor, so they moved me to the 2nd floor here because they want all the retail to be on 1 floor. So I've been on this location 24 years. Total 70 years in a building.
It's the loyal clients that Sam credits with keeping him afloat over the years, but he also says his secret to keeping the drive is staying on the go.
When I come in the morning, I do my laps. 18 laps is 1 mile. So I'm trying to do 1 mile every day.
His clientele is loyal for a reason. Customers like Reverend Clifton Renard Hawkins and Roger Scott have been coming for decades.
He's a fine gentleman. He's treated me like a king.
Sam takes care of you. He works by appointment. The appointment's generally a half an hour long, and he hits it right on the button. 40 years, once a month.
Through the years that I have met a lot of beautiful people.
And Sam will be turning 93 in May with no signs of slowing down. In downtown Detroit, Victor Williams, Local 4.
Oh man, I love Sam's energy. By the way, Victor also tells us Sam still has pretty reasonable prices, showing his passion for helping his local community. A big congrats to him.